When I got my first min pin, I know for me, if I could find any type of hack that would make my life better and their life better, I was all game for that. Hey guys, my name is Nate. Welcome back to Min Pin Nation. We like to talk about the miniature pinscher breed. So if you have a min pin or you're looking to get a min pin, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notified every time we have a new video out. Also, if you're looking for recommendations for supplies, I always leave my top recommendations for different pet supplies for a min pin down below in the description. So make sure you check that out for the latest and greatest that I have on that. The first hack that I discovered was my dog Blitz. He loves to eat as fast as humanly possible. That's right. So something that you can do with that, there's two ways to do this. One, you can actually buy what's called like a dog food separator bowl. And it's actually one, and I have one here, that it will actually, they usually have some type of ring in them. And basically it helps slow down your min pin from just gobbling down their food and causing some type of stomach pain or anything like that. So you can buy those. I'll leave a link down below for the one that we have. But it's something else that you can do today if you don't have something like that, is you can actually just take some type of ball, of theirs, and actually just put it inside of the bowl. And then that way, whenever they're in there they have to kind of root around and push the ball around to kind of get to their food, and it'll help slow them down. So definitely a good hack to try if you have one of the min pins that are just very ferocious with their food. Okay, so sticking here still with feeding. I talked a lot about this on this channel. Feeding time training, right? So we are so busy in today's world that we're constantly going and we just don't have time for everything, it feels like. So what I've noticed, the best thing to do is use that time when they're eating also for training. So especially when they're puppies, make sure and make them work for every piece of food that you give them. They're not going to be used to a lot of treats at first, so it's prime time for you to do some training. Okay, min pins. You out there that own them know that they are wild, rambunctious, and they like to zooming around. Well, exercise is very important for those guys, but something that you may not think about is think of some unconventional exercises. Now, we always think about taking our dog for a walk, and I definitely recommend that you do that as often as you can, but sometimes that's not going to work, or maybe that just doesn't tire them out. So definitely make sure you're thinking of unconventional ways. If you have stairs, do some little stair climbing with them going up and down. That will definitely tire them out. Some other examples is if you can set up some type of agility course. You can actually teach your min pins, how to actually go through around little cones or something, and now kind of just stimulate their mind and also stimulate, them physically as well. Okay, so we'll kind of stay on the topic here once again with, walking your dog or exercising them. So something that we kind of make a mistake on a lot of times is we want to go straight to what I like to call the main event. And that's basically we want to walk them, in a busy downtown street where there's a million other dogs, a million people and cars and all kinds of noise and smells and everything. That's just where we want to start our training. And if you tried it, that just really doesn't work. So always make sure anything that you're practicing, and that also includes any type of obedience training that you're going to implement out in the real world. Make sure you, practice before you hit the main event. So, take them to the practice field, your backyard, your hallway, walk them there first, and then you can kind of level up from there. Okay, before we get on to the next one, hey, once again, if you're enjoying and getting value out of what you are seeing today, please do me a favor and just hit that like button down below. It takes half a second to do, and that really helps out the algorithm here to help push this video out to more and more min pin owners to see. Okay, so the next one I want to talk about here is keeping your dog's food fresh. Now, we think about this whenever we have canned food. If they don't eat the whole can, we always usually cover it up and make sure it's refrigerated and all those things. And if you feed them some type of raw diet, you're going to prepare it right. But a lot of times it gets forgotten if you do some type of dry dog food. And now the best thing you can do is they just sell those containers. You can either get a big one that'll fit a big bag or even a smaller one. But make sure that you kind of aren't just leaving the dog food open. Now, we think about this for, like I said, every other facet of their food and our own food, but a lot of times we leave that dog food just sitting in the garage day after day, and it will get stale, and a lot of times that could be the problem if your dog kind of loses its interest in it. So just buy one of those nice storage containers. I have one for each of my dog, and then that way that food's going to last, especially if you get those big bags that are going to last you, months and months. Okay, the next one here. We're going to talk about clicker training just a little bit. So I haven't really done a lot of conversation about clicker training, but basically what that is pretty much you can buy these clickers that you actually will click a noise, and makes that clicking noise when your dog does something correct. Now, if you've watched some of the other videos on this channel, we usually also refer to this as like a yes command, and that's pretty much marking when they do something good and then rewarding them after that. So an advantage of a clicker over maybe just your voice is it's usually a lot easier for your mind to react and to click that clicker or some other device that's going to notify them that they've done a good thing. Now, I will say I've heard some disadvantages as well, and that is obviously if you have the clicker, then now you're kind of stuck to them, you only using the clicker. But I would say, especially if you're having an issue really getting those words out as needed to mark it, then definitely a clicker can help you do this a lot quicker, a lot smoother, and I think you'll see a lot of good results from it. Okay, the next one here, a Kong toy. So I did a video all about the Kong toy, but I just wanted to touch on it real quick here. And this is something that's going to help stimulate that mind once again. And this is something that is kind of, it's been on the market for a long time, and a lot of people swear by it. I know that ours enjoy their Kong toys, and you can put all kinds of treats in them, or peanut butter. It kind of makes them, kind of have a game, and especially if they're chewers, they make all the way up to these, very heavy, extreme chewers, all the way down to just little ones that are soft for puppies. So I do have a video all about this. I'll link this up here if you want to see a full review I did about the Kong toys. Okay, freezing your treats. So actually, something that you can do if your dogs, once again, you kind of always got to mix it up, right? So if you actually will do something and freeze it, it will actually give the dog something to do. So kind of like a Kong toy that we talked about, it'll kind of help pass the time. It'll keep them engaged. And a good one that you can do is you actually take some type of like a soup broth that you make and just pour it in some ice cubes trays and freeze it, and then when you have that, you can pop that out and pop that into just a bowl for them, or just kind of let them have it obviously on the floor, and that will keep them entertained, and obviously it'll be nice and healthy for them as well. Okay, so this next one's actually really, really cool, and I just recently discovered this, and it's actually a dog protectant for your door. And so what that is I know a lot of us have that problem where our min pin likes to run up to the door and start scratching it when they need to go outside to go to the bathroom, or maybe just when they just hear a noise outside or they're excited and they'll start scratching up our door, and it's super frustrating for me to kind of have that and have to deal with them chipping paint, or it just gets real dirty. So they actually make this, basically this protectant that actually is like a plastic sheet that will actually go onto your door, and it will make it where your dogs won't be able to scratch up the paint on the door and keep it nice and clean. So actually another way you can do this too, if you don't have obviously one of these on hand, is you can actually, if you have anything like contact paper has been used as well, and that will kind of smooth it over there and keep it smooth there. And while it's not as good as the plastic kind of sheets that you can buy, it is a good barrier as well, especially if you're trying to buy one of those plastic sheets and it's something you maybe have in the meantime. Okay, another one that most of us don't think about and that's actually CPR for our pets. Now, I'm not a licensed vet of any kind, and I'm not, officially trained in CPR, so definitely, do your own due diligence with this one. But you can actually go to the American Red Cross website, and I'll link it down below the exact article, and they kind of have a step-by-step instruction there where it will teach you how to give CPR to your pet in the case of an emergency. Okay, this next one's especially for my northern friends here that, live in the cold parts of the world. It's actually something super simple, but you can buy coats, you can buy all kinds of stuff for your min pin if it's super cold outside, and you can even buy something for kind of for their paws with booties, but they just never stay on, let's be honest, right? So actually something you can use at your home that you probably have right now in your bathroom, and that's Vaseline. That's right. You can actually take some Vaseline and just lather the bottom of their paws up, all four paws there, and it'll actually kind of create this barrier that will, keep them from being super cold when they're walking around outside. Okay, so I know from most min pin owners, and I've heard this from many of you, thunderstorms are a very big concern when it comes to your min pins. Now, we know about the noise, we know about the light, and we can think of different ways to try to take care of that. But a third kind of, part of this triangle to taking care of a thunderstorm with your min pin is actually the static electricity that's in the air from all the lightning that's going on around you. When that happens, it actually messes with your min pin's fur and actually kind of, almost like mats it if you think. So something you can do is you can actually just take a dryer sheet and kind of just brush them with it all over their body and their fur, and it will actually kind of help discharge that static electricity. Just like when you put a dryer sheet inside of your dryer, when you wash and dry your clothes, it actually helps, to help that static electricity. Same thing with your min pin. Okay, so for this one here, doggy breath is not a good thing to have. Now, I want to say this with kind of a disclaimer, and that is, in general, your dog shouldn't really have bad breath. And if they do, there could be more of an underlying issue. And I actually did a video all talking about min pin teeth and how to take care of them. And we talk about dog breath in that. So definitely go check out that video up above here after this one. But something, if you do have a little bit of doggy breath kind of going around, is you can actually take some parsley and you can actually just chop it up and you can put it right in there with their food when they eat. And actually it will help them, eat it, and they'll probably enjoy it for sure, just the taste, and it'll actually give them a nice smelling breath. Kind of a natural way to do it outside of like the mint bones or anything as well. So as you can see, there's a lot of different ways that you can take care of your min pin, a lot of different hacks we talked about. So if there's a hack that I didn't mention in this video, or there's a hack I mentioned that you want to know more about for maybe in a future video, let me know down in the comments below, and we can kind of have a discussion down there. Also, if you've never had a min pin and you're here, definitely go check out our video here all about where to find your first min pin. We'll link it right over here. And then also down here is one that YouTube's going to recommend for you. So either way, check out that video, and I'll see you over in that video.